Hey guys, Atreyu is back. I do hope you all are doing well. So in today's video, we're going to be asking the question, would you start your lock journey over? Would you get a new set of locks just because your current set has lots of different sizes? Let's get to it.
Atreyu is back, yeah. Atreyu is back, yeah. Atreyu is back, yeah. Atreyu.
So yes, in today's video, as I said, we're going to be asking the question. I'm going to be asking you guys if you would start your lock journey over, if you would just comb your current locks out, maybe cut them off, depending on which method you prefer, if you had locks of different sizes. So before we jump in on this topic, I would like to pause and ask you guys to scroll up, down, sideways, whatever it is you need to do, however it is you need to do it, and hit that like button, and we will continue on. Now you might be wondering what prompted this question. Well, it was one of you guys. It comes from a subscriber, BD. She asked, do you ever get your dress style? And when I read this, I couldn't help but chuckle, because I'm like, have you ever watched one of my videos? Like, it's like if you know nothing else about Sebbies, that's one thing you should know, that I don't get my lock style, but you never know what other videos a person has seen or not seen or whatever. So as you see, I responded, no, never. So then she wrote, I'm coming up on my 3rd year in April. Congrats on that, by the way, BD. And I have never had mine styled either. I just let them do whatever they're gonna do. Can't lie, I thought about starting my journey over because some of my locks are different sizes, but I'm starting to embrace and like them. But I do hate the frizz, LOL. So when I read this and I was taking it in, it really occurred to me that a lot of you obviously hate the frizz, right? I've gotten so many comments about people hating the frizz, but something else is a lot of you hate locks of different sizes. So I started to reflect back on my own quest, as I often do when I get questions from you guys, trying to put myself in your shoes to see how either I felt or how I would feel if I were in a certain situation. And I do remember when my mom put my comb coils in, I asked her to make the parts the same size. Now, many of you already know that I have locks of different sizes, and that could be the reason, right? Because my mom was focused on making the parts, you know, of comparable sizes, and not necessarily taking into account, well, that's not true. I was gonna say she didn't take into account that, you know, the hair was less dense in certain areas, because actually she did. But it still didn't matter because I ended up with locks of different sizes. The interesting thing is that fact doesn't bother me. I just kind of assumed that it came with the territory, meaning if you're gonna have locks, 1, you're gonna have frizz, and 2, you're gonna have lots of different sizes. So it's interesting that so many people, 1, hate frizz and really are bothered too by having lots of different sizes. I guess it boils down on how you see locks, what your perspective is on locks. Mine is simply matted hair. I like to separate, I retwist, you know, however often. I like individual locks with emphasis on locks, right? I don't want one huge lock on my head, but yeah, I don't expect them to be perfect. So I guess it depends on what your perspective is of locks. You know, I feel like for the people who have locks as a hairstyle, then yeah, they're definitely going for that perfection. Every lock is comparable in size to every other lock on their head, perfectly cylindrical, meaning a flat lock has nowhere to be found. They have to be perfectly manicured at all times. Frizz is a no, even though you know it's inevitable, but you hate it. But my perspective is different. So I guess that explains why I would never even think about cutting my locks off or combing them out just to start them over because they were different sizes. I expected that to a certain extent, or I knew that at the very least I would try to get them the same size, but it wasn't a deal breaker if they weren't. So hopefully, BD, for your sake, after almost having 3 years under your belt, you find a way to, you know, accept them and not start all over just because they're a different size. But if you do, that's fine too, you know. You want to be satisfied with the locks that you have. People are free to do what they want, especially where their hair is concerned, you know, whatever makes you happy. I guess I'm just happy that size is not a deal breaker for me. So, I want to know what you guys think about this topic. If you have manicured locks, and if they were different sizes, would you start over? Would you start your journey over? Is that a deal breaker for you? Obviously, freeformers, you're gonna have lots of different sizes because that's not something that's even on your radar. But because you have lots of different sizes, does it bother you ever? Do you ever wish that your locks were all the same size? And the final question that I want you guys to answer in the comment section is, do you see your perspective on locks ever changing? Meaning, if the size of your locks is something that's very important to you, do you think you could ever be okay with having less than perfect locks? Do you think you could ever adopt a mentality such that locks are going to be frizzy and that they're going to be different sizes? You know, they're actually really going to do what they do for the most part. So yeah, I'm very curious about this topic. That's why I want to make a video. So drop down below and leave that comment. Also, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you disliked it, even though I don't see why, because I'm asking for your opinion, so it's really no need to dislike it. But if you do dislike it, dislike it. Share the video, people. And if you are new to this channel and you are enjoying this content and want to see more, hit the subscribe button. As always, please learn to love unconditionally, because loving with conditions conditions the heart to not really love at all. Atreyu is out.